Hello there. It is quite late, isn't it? Take a long, slow moment to just listen to the quiet of the room around you. The world outside your window is finally powered down. The heavy traffic has thinned out into a distant, occasional hum. The endless stream of emails, the urgent text messages, the demands of the day, they have all stopped. The relentless noise of human activity has faded away, leaving behind a thick, comforting blanket of silence. We are entering that sacred, quiet window of the night, that profound space between 11 o'clock and 4 in the morning. This is the time when the heavy armor you wear all day finally becomes too heavy to hold up. The ego softens, the walls come down. It is the time of night when the distractions fade, and we simply cannot lie to ourselves anymore. And right now, just sensing you there in the dark, I can tell that you are deeply exhausted. It is not merely the physical tiredness of a long day of moving around. It is a bone-deep, soulful exhaustion. It is the weariness of a spirit that has been stretched too thin for too long. Before we go any further into the night, I want you to do something very simple for me. Bring your gentle awareness to your jaw. Are you clenching yet? Most of us are, holding on to the tension of the day without even realizing it. Just gently let it drop. Create a little soft space between your upper and lower teeth. Let your tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth. Now notice your shoulders. They've likely crept up toward your ears, bracing against the invisible weight of the world. Let them fall. Let gravity do exactly what it is supposed to do. Allow your shoulders to sink deeper and deeper still into the soft surface of your mattress. Feel the exact point where your neck meets the cool fabric of your pillow. Feel the comforting, grounding weight of the blanket covering your body. You do not need to hold yourself together anymore. This bed, this room, this exact moment in time, this is the safest space in the world. Nothing is required of you here. No one needs anything from you right now. You're allowed to just exist. You worked incredibly hard today. And when I say that, I do not just mean whatever tasks you completed at your job or the errands you ran or the chores you finished around the house. I mean the profound, invisible, emotional labor you perform every single day. The brilliant depth psychologist Carl Jung had a specific word for what you did all day long. He called it the persona, the mask we wear to interact with the world. From the very moment you woke up and stepped out of your bedroom, you had to put that mask on. You had to smile when you were actually running on empty. You had to nod and agree when you desperately wanted to say no. If you're like so many of us, especially those with deeply empathetic hearts, you spent your entire day learning to seamlessly monitor other people's moods. You probably felt like it was your absolute duty to figure out what everyone else needed, what everyone else was feeling, and to make sure the environment remained smooth and conflict-free. You read the room. You adjusted your tone. You made yourself smaller so others could feel bigger. Or you made yourself overly useful so others would not abandon you. That is incredibly heavy lifting. It is a survival strategy that you likely developed when you were very young. Somewhere along the line, you learned to focus all of your precious attention outward, because focusing inward, attending to your own needs, simply wasn't safe, wasn't allowed, or wasn't valued by the people around you. You learned how to stay safe, how to earn love, and how to maintain connection by hyper-focusing on everyone else's emotional weather. But now, lying here in the dark as a grown adult, that brilliant childhood strategy is no longer serving you. Now, it is only depleting you. It is draining your life force. And the tragic irony is that even now, when the mask is supposed to be off, when you are finally alone in the dark, your mind still will not let you rest. You might find yourself lying here, staring at the ceiling or the back of your eyelids, constantly wondering what someone else thinks of you. You are constantly replaying conversations, analyzing every word and inflection. You're constantly imagining future interactions, trying to build a script so you won't be caught off guard. You're trying to figure them out. Someone is living far too much in your mind right now. They are taking up the sacred space of your inner sanctuary. I want you to know, I see that. I understand it completely. And there is absolutely zero judgment here. You are not weak for doing this. You are not foolish. You're just a human being trying to feel safe and connected. But tonight, I want to offer you a different path. Jung understood deeply that when someone occupies too much space in your mind, you're not actually connecting with them. You are projecting. You are losing yourself. You are giving your power away to a phantom, a mental construction of your own making. He would tell you gently but firmly, do not think too much about anyone. Not tonight. You do not need to learn anything right now. You do not need to take notes or memorize psychological concepts. Just let my words wash over you like a warm, soothing wave. Let them drift through your mind like a dream. If you fall asleep while I'm talking, that is a beautiful thing. Your unconscious mind is vast and wise. It is always listening, and it knows exactly what to do with these words to help you heal. For tonight, for right now, your only task is to let go. I want you to imagine gathering up all those looping thoughts about that person, all that anxious worry, all that mental rehearsal, and placing them gently into a heavy wooden box. Carry that box in your mind's eye, walk it outside your bedroom door, and set it down in the hall. Close the door, turn the lock. You can pick that box back up tomorrow morning if you truly want to. But for tonight, this space belongs entirely to you. Take a slow, deep breath in. Fill your lungs with the quiet night air, and let it out with a soft sigh. Gently bring your attention back to yourself. You do not have to figure anyone out. You just have to be here. As you lie here, settling even deeper into the welcoming embrace of your mattress, you might notice something strange happening. When you finally stop filling your mind with the relentless noise of everyone else. When you stop trying to figure them out, predict their next move, or manage their perception of you, a sudden, vast quiet rushes in. And if we are being completely honest with ourselves, that quiet can feel deeply uncomfortable at first. It might feel echoing, empty, or even painfully lonely. This is because you have been filling your mental living room with the loud presence of other people for so long, perhaps for your entire life, that you have forgotten what the natural acoustics of your own soul sound like. When the external noise stops, there is just space. There is just you, alone with yourself. If you're feeling a sense of disorientation right now, a slight vertigo in your spirit, I want you to take another deep, slow breath. Breathe directly into that open space, and breathe out the tension of the unfamiliar. What you are feeling is not a mistake. You are not doing this wrong, and you are not losing your connection to reality. You are simply experiencing what Carl Jung called the night sea journey. I want you to imagine, for a moment, a vast, endless midnight ocean. The sky above is a canopy of deep indigo, and the water below is dark. It is comfortably warm, matching the exact temperature of your own skin. You are resting safely in the bottom of a small, sturdy wooden boat. The wood is smooth and ancient, built to withstand any weather. But there are no oars in this boat. There is no motor. There is no sail, and as you look out over the edge, there is absolutely no land in sight. For someone who has spent their entire life desperately trying to row, tried to steer the ship, tried to control the emotional weather of everyone around them, to ensure their own survival. Dropping the oars feels absolutely terrifying. Your old self, the part of you that deeply believes your worth, comes strictly from pleasing others, from overthinking, from being the one who anticipates every disaster and fixes every problem, is terrified of this dark, still water. That old ego, that old survival strategy is screaming that if you stop rowing, you will drown. It tells you that if you stop thinking about them, they will leave you, or disaster will strike. But you're not in the water, you're in the boat, and the boat is holding you. So, what happens when you finally stop rowing? What happens when you put down the exhausting burden of managing the universe? You drift. You surrender to the current. In Jungian psychology, this feeling of drifting, this profound letting go of the old identity, is essential for any real healing to occur. It is the necessary dying of the old self, the persona you built. The relentless caretaker, the anxious overthinker, the one who abandons their own needs to hyper-focus on someone else's, has to dissolve. It has to fade away into the night so that the real you, the true self that has been waiting patiently underneath all that anxiety, can finally emerge. It feels like you are losing yourself, but the beautiful truth is, you are only losing the mask. You are only losing the exhausting, heavy patterns that have kept you trapped in endless mental loops. Listen to the gentle, rhythmic lapping of the dark water against the smooth wood of your boat. Swoosh and fade. Swoosh and fade. Let that ancient rhythm rock you. You do not have to navigate tonight. You do not need to know where the current is taking you. Jung understood that this void, this seemingly empty ocean, isn't empty in a bad or frightening way. It is empty in a full of possibility way. It is the dark, fertile womb of your own rebirth. But to be reborn, you have to be willing to be with the dark. You have to actively resist the deeply ingrained urge to immediately find someone else to think about, or to reach for your phone, or to find some other distraction to quickly occupy your mind and avoid the silence. Let the space be there. Let it stretch out around you. As you drift, you might feel a sudden wave of sadness, a pang of ancient grief, or a flare of anxiety. That is perfectly okay. Let it roll through you like a wave rolling beneath your boat. You are safe. The boat will not capsize. These are simply the trapped feelings you have been avoiding for years by keeping your mind obsessively focused on others. They are messengers from your unconscious. They just want to be felt, acknowledged, and then they will pass. Returning to the vast ocean, you are safe to let the old self fade away. You are safe to let go of the exhausting need to be needed. You are safe to stop thinking about them. As you surrender to the drift on this night sea, notice how the sky above you begins to change. The stars begin to shine a little brighter, piercing the dark. These stars represent the quiet, eternal truths of your own soul. They are guiding you not toward someone else, not toward another external distraction, but inward, toward your own profound center. This is the very beginning of your individuation. This is the journey of becoming who you truly are, independent of the projections, the demands, and the expectations of everyone else. I invite you to make a silent promise to yourself tonight. Let the thought echo softly in the cavern of your own mind. I give myself permission to let the old ways fade. I give myself permission to simply float. I no longer need to row. Whenever you feel the urge to overthink, whenever the anxiety of the external world tries to pull you back into the exhausting loop of managing others, remember this boat. You can always return to this dark, warm water. You can always return to this space, to this deep permission, and to my voice. Just rest now. Let the boat carry you. Let the old self slip quietly and peacefully into the dark water, making room for the profound peace that is waiting for you. As you continue to float on this quiet, dark sea of your own awareness, I want you to bring your attention back, just for a moment, to the physical space you are occupying. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Notice the way the air in the room feels against your skin, perhaps a little cool on your cheeks, while the rest of your body is cocooned in warmth. You are here. You are safe. And as you sink even deeper into this profound state of rest, we need to talk about the ache you are carrying. We know it is there. Even as your body relaxes, there is a specific, persistent knot somewhere inside you. Perhaps you feel it as a tightness in your chest, a heavy sinking sensation in your stomach, or a dull, relentless throbbing behind your eyes. It is the pain of feeling entirely stuck. It is the agonizing weight of being obsessed, of having your mind hijacked by the image, the words, or the memory of someone else. When you're caught in a specific kind of pain, it feels like being trapped in a mirrored labyrinth. Everywhere you turn, you see a reflection of them. You analyze what they said. You agonize over what they didn't say. You desperately try to decode their silence, their distance, or their inconsistency. You replay the past, hoping to find a different ending, and you rehearse the future, trying to guarantee your own safety. It is an exhausting, devastating loop, and it consumes massive amounts of your life force. Most of the time, the world tells us that this kind of pain is an enemy. Society teaches us that if we are obsessing, if we are assessing, if we are hurting, we're somehow broken. We are told to distract ourselves, to push the thoughts away, to just get over it, or to simply stay busy so we don't have to feel the ache. We treat emotional pain like an invader that must be eradicated at all costs. But tonight, in the safety of this midnight space, I want you to look at this pain through a completely different lens. Carl Jung had a radically compassionate view of our psychological suffering. He did not see anxiety, obsessive thoughts, or emotional pain as diseases to be fought. He understood them as something incredibly profound and necessary. Jung saw these painful symptoms as messengers. I want you to let that word settle into your mind. Messengers. This obsession, this inability to stop thinking about them is not a sign of your weakness. It is not a character flaw. It is a desperate, exhausted messenger sent from the deepest waters of your own unconscious mind. It has traveled a very long way through the dark to knock on the door of your awareness. And because you have been so busy managing the external world, so busy wearing the persona and taking care of everyone else, you haven't been able to hear the quiet whispers of your own soul. So, your unconscious had to send a louder messenger. It had to send a pain that you could not ignore. It had to send an obsession. When you cannot stop thinking about them, what is your psyche actually trying to tell you? Jung would say that the messenger is pointing at a profound hunger within yourself that has gone ignored. Are you desperately craving their validation? Perhaps the messenger is trying to show you how completely you have starved yourself of your own approval. Are you trying to control their behavior by analyzing their every move? Perhaps the messenger is highlighting how utterly out of control you feel regarding your own life's direction. Are you terrified of them leaving you? Perhaps the messenger is asking you to look at how many times and in how many ways you have already abandoned yourself to keep the peace. The obsession is a brilliant, blinding spotlight, but right now it is pointed in the wrong direction. It is pointed outward at them. The messenger is asking you, gently but persistently, to turn the spotlight inward. Imagine this messenger right now. Do not picture a terrifying monster or a dark cloud. Imagine the pain of this obsession as a small, incredibly tired traveler standing in the doorway of your mind. They are wearing a heavy, dusty cloak. They are exhausted from trying to get your attention for so long. They do not want to hurt you. They only want to deliver a letter. And the letter is not about the other person. The letter is not about the other person. It is about your neglected needs, your unexpressed grief, your hidden desires, and the beautiful, authentic parts of yourself that you shoved into the shadows because you thought they made you unlovable. You do not need to open the letter tonight. You do not need to analyze it, read it, or figure out a single step of your healing journey right now. I just want you to acknowledge the messenger. I want you to look at the pain and the obsession and, instead of fighting it, silently say to it, I see you. I know you are trying to tell me something important about myself. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Notice what happens in your body when you stop fighting the pain and simply acknowledge it as a messenger. The fierce grip begins to loosen, doesn't it? The knot in your chest softens. When the messenger knows they have finally been seen, they no longer have to knock so loudly. They can finally sit down. They can rest by the fire of your awareness. You do not need to fix anything tonight. You do not need to resolve the relationship or untangle the complex web of your feelings. The only thing you need to do is offer yourself the deepest, most radical compassion possible. You are a human being and you have been hurting, and that is okay. As you breathe in a profound sense of permission. As you breathe out, release the desperate need to figure them out. Let the other person fade into the background. They are not the center of your story, you are. The messenger has arrived safely. The message is yours to open whenever you are ready. But for now, the journey is paused. The work is done for the day. Allow your mind to grow heavy. Allow your thoughts to slow to a gentle, drifting pace, and give yourself the quiet, beautiful permission to simply fall asleep. As the night deepens and the quiet of the room wraps around you like a second, softer skin, I want you to notice the gentle, steady rhythm of your own breathing. You don't have to force it. You don't have to make it deeper or slower or more perfect. Your body simply knows how to breathe. It breathes you. And as you surrender to that natural rhythm, sinking heavier and heavier into the mattress, I want to talk to you about the sheer exhaustion of your own effort. If I could reach through the dark right now and gently place a hand on your tired shoulder, The truest thing I could say to you is this. You try so incredibly hard. I know you do. You try so hard to be a good person. You try to be the understanding partner, the reliable friend, the perfect employee, the one who holds it all together. You try to be the bigger person when you are hurt. You try to analyze your past so you won't repeat your mistakes. You tried to heal. You tried to communicate perfectly so you won't be misunderstood. Even when you were lying here, exhausted, trying to sleep, you're probably trying to relax. You treat your own peace of mind like another project to be managed, another mountain to climb. We live in a world, a culture, that constantly glorifies effort. We are practically spoon-fed the idea that if you just work a little harder, if you just try a little more, you can fix anything. We believe that if a relationship is failing, we must try harder to save it. If someone is pulling away, we must try harder to understand them and win them back. We are obsessed with self-improvement, constantly treating our souls like an endless motivation project. But Carl Jung recognized a dangerous trap in this relentless striving. He understood that while the ego, that conscious, managing part of you, believes it can control the universe through sheer force of will, the soul operates on entirely different rules. When you try so desperately to be good, to be the perfect persona, you're actually doing violence to your own soul. You are slicing away all the messy, human, complicated parts of yourself because you are afraid they are unacceptable. You exhaust yourself trying to mold your spirit into a shape that the world will applaud. And in the realm of relationships, when you try too hard to figure someone else out, when you overfunction to make them comfortable, you are slowly starving your own vital energy. I want you to imagine just for a moment that you have been holding on to a thick, rough rope for a very long time. You are pulling with all your might. Your knuckles are white. The muscles in your forearms are cramping, burning with the effort. You have been told your whole life that if you let go of the rope, everything will fall apart. The relationship will end. The people you love will be disappointed in you. You will fail. So you keep pulling, even as your hands bleed and your spirit breaks. But what if I told you that the other end of the rope isn't attached to anything? What if the only thing you are fighting is your own exhaustion? Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to visualize yourself opening your hands. Just let go of the rope. Listen to me very carefully. Stop trying so hard. Just stop. Stop trying to be the perfect version of yourself. Stop trying to decode the mixed signals of someone who isn't sure about you. Stop trying to earn love that should be freely given. Stop trying to fix things that you did not break. There's a profound holy relief in finally giving up. Not giving up on life and not giving up on yourself, but giving up on the exhausting, impossible project of managing the universe and everyone in it. When you stop trying to force an outcome, you are not failing. You are actually aligning with the deepest wisdom of your own psyche. You are stepping out of the frantic energy of the ego and dropping down into the deep, quiet currents of your true self. Think of a swimmer caught on a riptide. The instinct is to swim as hard as you can against the current, straight toward the shore. But the harder you try, the faster you drown. The only way to survive is to stop fighting. You have to relax your body and let the current carry you parallel to the shore until the water naturally releases you. Your obsessive thoughts, your anxiety, your desperate need to figure them out, that is the riptide, and your effort to fight it is only pulling you under. Tonight, you do not have to work on yourself. You do not have to be a good person. You do not have to be strong. You do not have to be understanding. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to be messy. You are allowed to be a masterpiece that is completely falling apart. Notice how the physical space around you completely accepts you exactly as you are. The pillow does not ask you to try harder before it's your head. The blanket does not require you to be a success before it keeps you warm. The darkness of the room embraces you without demanding a single ounce of effort. I want you to softly offer yourself this simple permission tonight. Let go of the rope. Let the need to try evaporate into the night air. Let the burden of being good slide off your shoulders and melt into the sheets. If your mind wanders back to that person or back to a problem, do not fight it. Do not try to forcefully clear your mind. Just gently remind yourself, I don't have to figure that out tonight. I am off duty. Alaya must duty incredibly heavy. Feel the sweet, heavy relief in your arms and legs now that the invisible rope is gone. The project is paused. The striving is over. There's absolutely nothing left to do, nowhere left to go, and no one you need to be. Just breathe and sink, and let the quiet carry you away. As you lie here, fully supported and completely enveloped in the safe, quiet dark of your room, I want you to allow your physical body to sink just one layer deeper into relaxation. Check your jaw one more time, let it be loose. Let your shoulders grow even heavier against the mattress. Your breathing has likely found its own slow, steady, magnificent rhythm now, rising and falling like the gentle tide of a calm midnight ocean. We have officially crossed the boundary of your surface-level effort. We have left behind the loud noise, the frantic striving, and the exhausting expectations of the outside world. Now, in this profound stillness, we're going to begin a gentle, sacred descent into the 7 secret layers of your inner world. This is where the real, beautiful untangling happens. And tonight, we begin with the very first layer, the place that holds your most raw and honest truths. Carl Jung called this first layer the shadow. When you hear the word shadow, your mind might instinctively pull back just a little bit. We are conditioned to fear the dark. But please, pause and listen to my voice. In this absolutely safe space we have created tonight, the shadow is not a terrifying monster hiding under your bed. It is not something evil, and it is certainly not something to be conquered. Your shadow is simply the collection of all the parts of yourself that have not yet been touched by the warm light of your own acceptance. It is made up of the parts of your personality that you quietly hid away, the emotions you suppressed so deeply you forgot they existed, and the completely natural human needs you convinced yourself you shouldn't have in order to fit into the world. I want you to imagine, in your mind's eye, that you are standing at the edge of a vast, ancient forest at twilight. The harsh, bright light of the day has completely faded, giving way to a soft, deeply peaceful indigo glow. The air here is incredibly crisp and cool. It carries the rich, grounding scent of damp earth, velvety green moss, and leaves that are heavy with the evening dew. As you take your first slow, barefoot steps into this magnificent forest, you notice that long, dark shadows are stretching across the forest floor. Your old survival instincts might whisper that you should turn around and run back to the familiar, blinding light. But tonight, you are entirely safe. You step onto the incredibly soft, spongy moss, and you realize something profound. The shadows in this forest are not scary at all. They are simply the natural shapes cast by the beautiful, towering trees that are shielding you from the glare of the sun. They are a necessary, vital part of the ecosystem. Without the shadows, the forest would have no depth. It would have no cool relief, no quiet places to rest, and no safe sanctuary for the delicate, fragile creatures that live there. The shadow within your own psyche works exactly the same way. When you were very young, the world taught you that certain parts of you were unacceptable. Perhaps you were indirectly taught that your anger was dangerous. Maybe you learned that your profound sadness was a sign of weakness, or that your deep craving for attention was selfish. And so, being the brilliant survivor that you are, you dutifully gathered up all those entirely natural, beautiful parts of your humanity, put them in a heavy, invisible sack, and carried them deep into the forest of your unconscious mind. You locked them away in the shadow. And you built a shiny, perfect mask, the persona to show the world instead. You became the one who is always fine, always understanding, always in control. But carrying that heavy sack takes a massive, agonizing amount of your daily life force. And this is the most profound truth Jung wants you to understand tonight. The real reason you obsess over someone else, the reason that specific person is taking up so much space in your mind, is very often because you're using them as a distraction. You're using their mixed signals, their problems, and their emotional distance to create a frantic, exhausting busyness in your conscious mind so that you never have to turn around and look into the quiet, shadowed forest of your own soul. Let me tell you a story about a woman named Sarah. Sarah is a brilliant, deeply warm, and fiercely loyal woman, but she spent 3 agonizing years of her life completely obsessed with a man named Mark. Mark was emotionally unavailable. He kept a safe distance, running hot and cold, and never truly offered her the solid, grounded commitment she craved. Every single night, Sarah would lie in bed, exactly as you are doing right now. But her mind was a chaotic, noisy courtroom. She analyzed every text message Mark sent. She agonized over why he pulled away just when things seemed perfectly fine. She drained every last drop of her spirit trying to figure him out, trying to become so incredibly perfect, so utterly indispensable that he would finally stay. Sarah sincerely believed that Mark was the puzzle she needed to solve to finally feel at peace. But the truth wasn't in Mark at all. The truth was waiting patiently in Sarah's shadow. When Sarah finally became too exhausted to keep pulling the rope, when she finally stopped trying so hard and bravely stepped into the quiet twilight forest of her own mind, she didn't find a monster. She found a tiny, terrified belief. She found a primal fear that if love came to her easily, if there was no struggle, no agonizing effort, she wasn't actually worthy of it. Sarah's shadow held the deeply painful conviction that she had to earn love through suffering and through fixing broken people. Her obsession with Mark, a man she could never quite catch, was actually a brilliant, elaborate defense mechanism. It kept her focused outward so she didn't have to face her own heartbreaking feeling of unworthiness. Mark's emotional distance was just a mirror reflecting her own hidden pain. And the moment Sarah finally looked at her shadow and realized this, the phantom image of Mark instantly lost its power to control her mind. She called all of her magnificent energy back home to herself. "You are lying here, breathing so softly, so deeply. You do not need to analyze what specifically is in your shadow right now. You do not need to solve it, fix it, or turn it into an emotional homework assignment. You only need to breathe and allow it to exist." Are you running from your own profound loneliness by constantly thinking about what they are doing? Are you covering up a deep, aching feeling of emptiness by filling your head with their drama? Whatever is waiting in your shadow, I promise you, it is not something to fear. It is just a fragmented part of you that is desperately longing to be seen. It is like a small, tired child hiding behind a tree in that twilight forest, waiting for you to walk up with absolute tenderness and compassion. Do not judge yourself for running away for so long. Running is a completely natural human survival instinct. But you are done running for today. You are safe in this room. This bed is your absolute sanctuary. The dark night outside is wrapping around your home, protecting you from any judgment or demand. Take a very slow, smooth breath in. Imagine you are breathing in the cool, soothing, fragrant air of that twilight forest. And as you exhale, let go of the heavy, exhausting armor of your perfectionism. Right now, in the profound safety of the dark, I invite you to silently offer a gentle, unspoken invitation from the very bottom of your heart, a soft permission slip to your shadow. You are welcome here. You do not have to hide anymore. I will not abandon you. Notice what happens in your physical body when you do that. When you gently stop rejecting yourself, a miracle of relaxation occurs. The massive amount of muscular and mental energy you have been spending for years just to keep the shadow pushed down is suddenly released. You can feel your limbs growing sweeter, heavier, melting miraculously into the mattress. The obsessive thoughts about that other person begin to fade, dissolving into nothingness like morning mist burning off in the sun. Because when you finally open your arms to your own shadow, you no longer need the exhausting illusion of someone else to hide behind. Just let go. Just drift beautifully on the current. The forest is protecting you. Ancient trees are standing guard over your rest. You are whole. You are completely magnificent with all your brilliant light and all your soft, quiet shadows. Let that beautiful wholeness rock you gently into a deep, profound sleep where your mind is finally wonderfully free. As you leave the quiet twilight of the shadow forest behind, allow yourself to sink even deeper into the heavy, comforting warmth of your bed. Notice how your body is naturally becoming heavier, softer, and more relaxed with every breath you take. You are drifting beautifully now. You are safe. And as we move deeper into the landscape of your own psyche, we arrive at the second layer of your inner world. Here, we encounter a concept that the anxious mind often completely misunderstands. We are going to explore the profound healing power of Layer 2, magnetic silence. For someone who spends their life overthinking and overfunctioning for others, silence can feel incredibly dangerous. When the person you are obsessing over suddenly becomes quiet, distant, or confusing, your ego immediately goes into a state of absolute panic. It tells you that the silence is a void, an empty space that must be frantically filled or else the connection will die. And so, you flood that space. You might flood it with text messages, with apologies for things you didn't do, or with desperate attempts to start a conversation. Or, if you are quietly lying in bed, you flood that silence with your own mental energy. You send your thoughts out into the dark, searching for them, analyzing them, trying to bridge the invisible gap between you. You are practically vibrating with the effort of reaching out. But Carl Jung understood the deep mechanics of psychic energy. He knew that when you constantly push your energy outward, obsessing over another person, you actually deplete your own center. You make yourself spiritually and emotionally bankrupt. And ironically, that frantic, grasping energy often pushes the other person further away. Let me tell you about Elena. Elena was a classic overthinker and an exhausted caretaker. Whenever she felt the slightest shift in someone's mood, a friend, a partner, or even a colleague, she would immediately jump in to fix it. If a man she was dating took too long to text back, Elena's mind would race. She would craft perfectly worded messages, trying to casually prompt a response. She was terrified of the silence because she believed that if she stopped actively managing the connection, she would be abandoned. One day, exhausted to the point of breaking, Elena decided to stop. She stepped into the second layer of her psyche and embraced magnetic silence. When her partner grew distant, instead of leaning forward and sending out a frantic wave of mental and physical energy, Elena gently leaned back. She didn't do this as a manipulation tactic or a game to make him miss her. She did it to save her own life. She consciously withdrew her psychic energy from him and brought it entirely back to herself. She let the silence sit there. She allowed the space between them to simply be empty, and something miraculous happened. By withdrawing her desperate need to fix the void, Elena stopped leaking her life force. She became deeply grounded. She stopped being a satellite orbiting around someone else's moods, and she became the center of her own universe again. And in that profound, unbothered silence, she suddenly became incredibly magnetic. I want you to imagine a massive ancient oak tree standing in the very center of a wide, moonlit meadow. Just picture it in your mind. Its trunk is thick and unmovable, anchored by roots that reach deep into the dark, nourishing earth. Notice how the oak tree does not chase anything. It doesn't strain its branches to desperately grab at the wind. It doesn't uproot itself to run after the birds that fly away. It doesn't panic when the seasons change or when the winter brings a deep, freezing quiet. The oak tree simply stands in its own magnificent, quiet power. It is entirely rooted in its own existence. And because of that profound, grounded stillness, life naturally gravitates toward it. The birds return to its branches. The weary travelers rest in its shade. The world comes to the tree simply because the tree is not frantically chasing the world. That oak tree is you. Or at least, it is the deepest, truest part of you, the self, that Jung talked about. When you constantly obsess over someone, when you let them live rent-free in your mind, you're uprooting your beautiful tree and desperately dragging it across the meadow, trying to catch the wind. It is exhausting, and it goes against your very nature. Tonight, you do not have to chase anyone. You do not have to bridge the gap. You do not have to send your precious mental energy out into the dark to figure out what they're thinking or feeling. Let them be exactly where they are. I invite you right now to softly practice this magnetic silence. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the mattress, acting just like those deep, ancient roots of the oak tree. Draw all of your scattered thoughts, all of your anxious energy, all of your obsessive wondering back from the external world. Pull it all gently back into your own chest. Feel how incredibly grounding it is to just be here, completely contained within yourself. Whenever you feel that familiar, frantic urge to reach out, whether by checking your phone or by letting your mind spiral into an imaginary conversation with them, I want you to gently pause, take a deep, slow breath in, and remind yourself that your only job is to be the oak tree. The silence between you and the rest of the world is not an empty void that you must fix. It is a sacred, heavy, beautiful space that belongs entirely to you. It is the space where you recover your power. Let the silence hold you now. Let it wrap around you like a thick, soft blanket. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to solve. There's only the quiet rhythm of your breath, the steady beating of your heart, and the profound, magnetic peace of a mind that has finally decided to come back home. Sleep now, rooted and still. As the profound, magnetic silence of the second layer settles deeply into your bones, you might notice that your breathing has become even softer, even slower. Your body is heavy, wonderfully heavy, completely surrendered to the support of the bed beneath you. The outside world has entirely disappeared. There is only the gentle, steady rhythm of your chest rising and falling. You are safe, you are held, and you are ready to gently descend into the third layer of your inner world. Here in the quiet depths of Layer 3, we're going to look at one of Carl Jung's most brilliant and liberating discoveries. It is the concept of projection, and understanding this without any judgment or shame is the key to finally unlocking the door of your mental prison and setting yourself completely free. I want you to imagine, just for a moment, that you are standing on the shore of a vast, perfectly still mountain lake in the middle of the night. The air is crisp and completely silent. As you look out over the dark water, you see the most magnificent, glowing, silver moon resting right there on the surface. It is so beautiful, so incredibly captivating that you feel a desperate urge to hold it. And so, you wade into the freezing water. You reach your hands out to grab the moon, but the moment your fingers touch the surface, the image shatters into 1,000 rippling pieces. Your hands come up empty. You wait, shivering in the cold, for the water to still and the moon to return. And when it does, you try to grab it again. You exhaust yourself. You become entirely obsessed with catching the moon in the water. But my dear friend, the moon was never in the water. The water is just a mirror. The moon you are so desperately trying to grasp is actually high above you, in your own magnificent sky. To reach it, you don't need to dive into the freezing lake. You simply need to look up. This is exactly what happens when someone lives too much in your mind. This is projection, when you cannot stop thinking about someone when they seem to possess a magical quality that you desperately need, whether it is their confidence, their freedom, their mysteriousness, or the sense of safety they briefly offered you. Jung would gently tell you that you are looking at the surface of a lake. You have taken a beautiful, unlived part of your own soul, a piece of your own inner magic that you haven't yet claimed, and you have projected it onto them. You think they hold the key to your happiness, but they are only reflecting your own unacknowledged light. Let me share the story of a woman named Maya. Maya was an incredibly responsible, hardworking, and deeply structured person. She always followed the rules. But for 2 agonizing years, Maya was completely consumed by an obsession with a man named Julian. Julian was wild. He was an artist, intensely creative, unpredictable, and he lived completely unapologetically on his own terms. Maya felt a magnetic, almost painful pull toward him. She analyzed his every move, his sudden disappearances, his bursts of passion. She genuinely believed he was her soulmate, the missing half that would finally make her life vibrant and exciting. She exhausted herself trying to secure his love, diving again and again into the freezing water of his inconsistency. But Jungian psychology offered Maya profound revelation. Julian was just the lake. Maya was not actually obsessed with Julian, the man. She was obsessed with her own golden shadow. She had projected her own deeply buried desire to be wild, creative, and free onto him. Since she didn't feel safe enough to break her own rigid rules, she unconsciously hired Julian to act out her freedom for her. Once Maya understood this, everything changed. She didn't need to fix him or figure him out. She needed to look up at her own sky. Maya started taking painting classes. She started traveling without an itinerary. She began to let herself be beautifully messy and wonderfully free. And the moment she claimed her own wildness, her exhausting obsession with Julian simply evaporated into the thin air. He wasn't the magic anymore. She was. As you lie here tonight, cradled in the dark, I want you to think about the person who has been keeping your mind so busy. What is it about them that you are so desperately drawn to, or so intensely triggered by? Do they represent a sense of power you wish you had? Do they represent a carefree joy you have denied yourself? Do they hold a mirror to your own deeply buried need for validation? You do not need to analyze this perfectly tonight. You do not need to figure out all the answers. The beautiful truth is that your unconscious mind is already doing the work just by listening to my voice. All you have to do is surrender to the feeling of being whole, the magnificent qualities you see in them. The things you are so terrified of losing, they do not belong to that person. They never did. They belong entirely to you. You are the sky. Take a very slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs with the quiet peace of the night. And as you exhale, I invite you to silently offer yourself this gentle permission, this quiet call to action. I withdraw my projections. I call my magic back to me. Feel the incredible relief that washes over your body as you say those words. You don't have to chase the reflection in the water anymore. You can step out of the freezing lake. You can come back to the warmth of your own shore. Wrap yourself in the comforting blanket of your own inherent wholeness. Let the image of that other person slowly fade, getting smaller and smaller until it is nothing more than a tiny speck of dust dissolving in the night wind. Call your energy home. Sink deeper, rest heavier, and let yourself drift into the sweet, unbroken peace of a mind that has finally found everything it was looking for, right here, within itself. As the beautiful, liberating realization of the third layer washes over you, allow your physical body to sink even deeper into the absolute safety of this moment. You have called your energy back. You have stepped out of the freezing lake of projection. Now, you are resting on your own warm, solid shore. Notice how the muscles in your face respond to this homecoming. The tiny muscles around your eyes are softening. The tension across your forehead is melting away, smoothing out like sand after the tide has washed over it. Your breathing is slow, rhythmic, and incredibly peaceful. You are drifting downward, gently and safely, into the fourth layer of your inner world. Here, in the quiet, protected space of layer 4, we encounter the foundation of your entire being, your innate self-worth, and your deep self-trust. When you spend your days and nights obsessing over another person, analyzing their behavior, predicting their moods, and frantically trying to secure their approval, you are operating from a deeply exhausting, hidden belief. You are operating from the belief that your worth is something you have to constantly earn. You treat your value as a human being like a fluctuating stock market, entirely dependent on how much someone else pays attention to you, how much they need you, or how pleased they are with your performance. You have been taught, perhaps very early in your life, that you are not inherently enough just by existing. You learned that you had to be useful. You had to be the fixer, the peacemaker, the one who understands, the one who never causes trouble. You began to treat your own self-worth like a monthly rent you had to pay to the universe through the exhausting currency of overfunctioning and overthinking. But Carl Jung would invite you to step away from that exhausting ledger. He understood that the true self, the core of who you are beneath the persona, does not need to earn anything. I want you to imagine a beautiful, ancient, perfectly smooth stone resting at the very bottom of a crystal clear river. Just picture it in your mind's eye. The stone is heavy, solid, and utterly complete. All day and all night, the water of the river rushes over it. Sometimes the water is gentle and slow. Sometimes, after a storm, it is chaotic and muddy. The water represents the external world, the changing moods of other people, their confusing actions, their presence and their absence. Notice how the stone does not exhaust itself trying to control the river. It does not panic when the water speeds up, and it does not desperately reach out to catch the water when it slows down. The stone does not need the river to validate its existence. It simply rests there, entirely grounded in its own weight, its own quiet beauty, and its own inherent value. It trusts its own solidity. It belongs exactly where it is. For so long, you have been trying to be the water, twisting and turning to accommodate everyone else's shape. Or you have been fighting the current, exhausted and drowning. Tonight, I want you to simply be the stone. Let me tell you about a man named David. David was an incredibly kind, deeply sensitive soul, but his mind was an endless, exhausting battlefield of anxiety. He was completely obsessed with his partner's emotional state. If his partner came home quiet, David would immediately spiral into a panic. He would mentally review every conversation they had over the last week, searching for what he might have done wrong. He would hover, asking, "Are you okay? Did I do something?" Over and over again. David believed that his only value in the relationship was being the person who made his partner happy. If his partner was unhappy, David felt utterly worthless. He was constantly paying that emotional rent. But when David finally descended into the fourth layer of his psyche, he confronted a heartbreaking truth. He did not trust his own baseline value. He realized he was using his partner's moods as a mirror to check if he was still worthy of love. When David learned to drop into his innate self-worth, everything shifted. The next time his partner was quiet, David did not panic. He felt the familiar urge to fix it. But instead, he imagined himself as that heavy, smooth stone at the bottom of the river. He reminded himself, "My worth is not on the line here. Their mood belongs to them. My value belongs to me." He allowed his partner to simply have a bad day without making it a crisis about his own worthiness. By trusting his innate value, David found a profound, unshakable peace, and his exhausting mental loops finally stopped. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone tonight. You do not need to earn your space on this mattress. You do not need to justify your need for rest. You are inherently valuable, entirely worthy, simply because you exist. You do not have to do anything to be enough. Take a deeply comforting, slow breath in. Feel your lungs expand effortlessly. And as you exhale, let go of the exhausting need to prove yourself to the person in your mind. I invite you to silently whisper this gentle permission to your tired soul tonight. I give myself permission to stop earning my worth. I am enough, exactly as I am. Feel the profound gravity of that truth settling into your bones. Let your body become as heavy, as grounded, and as peaceful as that beautiful stone at the bottom of the river. The rushing noise of the world, the confusing behaviors of others, the endless demands of the day, they are just water flowing over you. You are safe beneath it all. You are solid. You are intrinsically, unshakably valuable. Let that deep, quiet self-trust hold you now, rocking you gently into a completely secure, deeply restorative sleep. As you rest here, feeling the profound, unshakable solidity of the stone at the bottom of the river, I want you to notice how wonderfully heavy your body has become. Your arms and legs feel as though they are melting directly into the mattress. Your chest rises and falls with a gentle, effortless rhythm, like a calm tide rolling onto a quiet beach. You are deeply grounded now. You have anchored yourself in your own innate worth. And from this beautiful, secure place of stillness, we are going to float gently into the fifth layer of your inner landscape. Here, in the vast open space of Layer 5, we encounter one of Carl Jung's most magical and mysterious concepts. It is the concept of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences, or what we often call signs from the universe. When your mind is trapped in an exhausting loop, obsessing over another person, your brain does something incredibly clever, but deeply painful, because you are so desperate for certainty, so desperate for a guarantee that things will work out the way you want them to. You begin to frantically search the external world for signs. You look at the clock, and it is exactly 11:11. You hear their favorite song playing in a random coffee shop. You see someone driving the exact same car they drive, and your anxious, exhausted ego immediately jumps up and says, "Look, it's a sign. The universe is telling me to hold on. The universe is telling me they are the one." But Carl Jung would gently ask you to pause. He would tell you that when you are operating out of desperate obsession, you are not actually experiencing synchronicity. You are experiencing hypervigilance. You have simply programmed your brain to scan the world for anything that validates your anxiety. You are trying to force the universe to speak to you on your terms, trying to manipulate reality to soothe your deepest fears. That is not flow. That is force. And forcing is always exhausting. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are standing in the middle of a wide, open meadow in the deep of the night. The air is warm and sweet, smelling of wild summer grass. You have come to this meadow because you want to see the fireflies. But imagine if you ran frantically through the tall grass, stomping your feet, swinging a bright flashlight in every direction, and desperately trying to catch the fireflies in your bare hands. What would happen? The fireflies would immediately go dark. They would hide deep in the grass. Your frantic energy, your desperate chasing, would literally chase the magic away. You would be left standing in the dark, exhausted and empty-handed, wondering why the meadow was so completely empty. But what if you did the exact opposite? What if you walked quietly to the center of the meadow, sat down on the soft earth, and turned off your flashlight? What if you simply stopped moving, stopped striving, and let your eyes slowly adjust to the profound, beautiful dark? If you just sit still and breathe, slowly, magically, one tiny golden light will blink on in the distance, and then another right beside you, and then three more. Soon, because you are quiet, because you are completely still and not trying to grab anything, the entire meadow will light up around you. You will be surrounded by a magnificent, glowing dance. True synchronicity works exactly like the fireflies. It never reveals itself when you are frantic. It never speaks when you are desperately demanding answers about someone else. The universe does not speak the language of anxiety. It speaks the language of peace. Let me tell you about a woman named Rachel. Rachel spent a year completely devastated by a breakup. She refused to let go. Every day, she begged the universe for a sign that her ex was going to return. If she saw a stranger wearing the same jacket as him, she took it as a sign to text him. She was running through the meadow with a flashlight, exhausting herself, trying to force the universe to give her the answer she wanted. But it only kept her trapped in a cycle of rejection and pain. Finally, entirely depleted, Rachel gave up. She dropped down into the fifth layer of her psyche and she sat still in the dark. She stopped looking for signs of him. She withdrew her energy and accepted the silence. And that is when the real fireflies began to blink. A few weeks after she truly let go, Rachel mistakenly walked into the wrong coffee shop. There, she noticed a flyer for a local pottery class, something she had dreamed of doing as a child but had completely forgotten. She signed up. In that class, she met a mentor who changed the entire trajectory of her career, leading her to start her own beautiful, thriving art business. The synchronicities had finally arrived, but they were not pointing her backward to a man who didn't want her. They were pointing her forward, toward her own magnificent destiny, her own true self. The universe had been waiting patiently for Rachel to put down the flashlight and stop obsessing over someone else, so it could finally show her the magical path of her own life. Tonight, as you lie here perfectly safe in your bed, you do not need to figure out what the universe is trying to tell you about that other person. I want you to let them go. Stop looking for their name in the stars. Stop trying to decode the coincidences. Allow your body to become incredibly still, just like someone sitting quietly in the center of the summer meadow. Let your breathing become so gentle, so slow, that you can almost hear the quiet hum of the night. I invite you to silently offer yourself the soft, liberating permission tonight. Let the words echo gently in your mind. I release the need to force the signs. I trust the natural unfolding of my life. Feel the magnificent relief of putting down the flashlight, because you don't have to chase the magic anymore. You don't have to decipher the world. You only have to rest. You only have to be still. Let the gentle golden lights of true synchronicity surround you now, keeping you safe and warm as you drift deeper and deeper into a perfectly peaceful, untroubled sleep. As the golden lights of the fireflies fade into a deep, restful black behind your eyelids, you can feel yourself drifting even further downward. Your breathing has become a quiet, continuous wave rolling in and rolling out. You are so heavy, so warm, so entirely safe in the dark. The mattress is holding you perfectly, supporting every single ounce of your weight, so you do not have to hold yourself up at all. We are now descending gracefully into the sixth layer of your inner world. This is the most tender, the most delicate, and perhaps the most profoundly healing layer we will visit tonight. Here, in the absolute quietest depths of your psyche, we find the inner child. When you lie awake in the middle of the night, obsessively analyzing a text message, terrified of someone's sudden emotional distance, or desperately trying to figure out how to make someone stay, I want you to understand something very important. The part of you that is panicking in the dark is not the rational adult. The adult, you the one who goes to work, pays the bills, and navigates the complexities of the world, knows that you will survive, no matter what happens with this other person. The panic, the agonizing obsession, the desperate need to control the emotional weather of the person you care about. That does not belong to the adult. That belongs to a much, much younger version of you. I want you to imagine, in your mind's eye, that you are walking through a beautiful, quiet labyrinth made of tall, soft green hedges. You walk slowly, peacefully, the cool grass soft beneath your feet until you reach the very center. And there, hidden safely away from the demands of the world, is a small, walled garden. The gate is made of heavy, ancient iron, but it opens effortlessly without a sound at your gentle touch. Inside this garden, sitting quietly on a weathered stone bench, is the child you once were. Look at them for a moment. Really see them. For so many of us, this beautiful, sensitive child learned a very painful survival lesson. A long, long time ago, perhaps they grew up in a house where the emotional climate was unpredictable. Maybe they learned that in order to be safe, or to earn love, or just to keep the fragile peace in the house, they had to be hyper-vigilant. They learned to listen intently to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. They learned to read the slightest, microscopic changes in a parent's tone of voice or facial expression. They became a tiny, exhausted, emotional detective, always trying to figure out what the giant adults needed, so that the adults wouldn't leave, or wouldn't get angry, or wouldn't fall apart. Let me tell you the story of a man named James. James was a brilliant, highly successful adult, but his romantic relationships were a source of constant, agonizing anxiety. If the woman he was dating seemed even slightly quiet or distant during dinner, James's mind would immediately spin out of control. He would spend the entire night lying awake, exactly like this, obsessing over what he had done wrong. He would bend over backwards the next day to fix a problem that didn't even exist, suffocating the relationship with his anxiety. He truly thought he was just being a deeply caring, attentive partner. But when James finally became exhausted enough to step into this sixth layer of his own mind, he realized a heartbreaking truth. It wasn't the 35-year-old James who was terrified of a quiet dinner. It was the 8-year-old James. When James was 8, a quiet dinner table usually meant that his parents were about to have a devastating, world-shattering argument. Silence, to little James, was the terrifying warning siren of an approaching storm. So, he learned to tell jokes, to be perfectly behaved, to constantly manage their moods to stave off the disaster. 30 years later, he was still doing it. His obsession with his partner's moods wasn't about love. It was just that little boy, desperately trying to keep the house safe. When James finally understood this, he stopped trying to analyze his partner. He simply closed his eyes, walked into that inner garden, and sat down next to little James. He put his arm around the boy and said, "You don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to manage the adults. I am the adult now, and I will keep us safe." And the exhausting obsession finally, miraculously, broke. Right now, lying here in the dark, I want you to think about the frantic mental energy you spend trying to figure out that other person, the paralyzing fear of their silence, the desperation for their validation. That is your inner child. They are exhausted. They are still trying to solve a puzzle they were never, ever meant to solve. They are still trying to earn the safety and the unconditional love that they should have been freely given. You do not need to analyze your childhood tonight. You do not need to open up old wounds or figure out the timeline of your trauma. You only need to offer comfort. Imagine walking into that quiet garden and sitting down on the stone bench next to the younger version of yourself. Notice how tired their little shoulders look from trying to carry the weight of the universe. Softly, gently, put your arm around them. Pull them close to your chest. I invite you to silently whisper this profound, healing permission to them. Right now, you don't have to figure anyone out tonight. You don't have to keep the peace anymore. You are safe, and I will take care of you. Notice what happens in your own physical chest when you finally take that massive burden off the child's shoulders. A profound, sweeping wave of relief washes through your entire body. The anxious, tight gripping in your stomach releases. Your jaw softens even more, because when the inner child finally feels seen and safe, they stop pulling the fire alarm in your nervous system. They can finally close their tired eyes, let the image of the garden gently fade into the soft, warm darkness of your room. Let the capable, compassionate adult version of you take over the watch for the night. There is absolutely nothing left to figure out. The house is safe. The doors are locked. The night is quiet and protective. Just breathe and let yourself and that precious child within you sink completely into a beautifully deep, undisturbed sleep. As the beautiful, comforting image of your safe inner garden begins to softly dissolve into the quiet dark behind your closed eyes, allow yourself to take one more slow, deeply satisfying breath. The heavy, protective iron gate is closed. The child within you is finally resting. And because that profound, exhausting internal alarm has been turned off, your physical body can now surrender completely. Notice the incredible heaviness in your bones. Your arms and legs are completely relaxed, completely off duty. You are floating downward, gently drifting through the warm midnight waters of your own consciousness until you finally touch the very bottom. Welcome to the seventh and final layer of your inner world. This is the bedrock of your psyche. This is the magnificent foundation of everything you are. And here in this vast, profoundly peaceful space, we arrive at the ultimate destination of Carl Jung's work. We arrive at the concept of wholeness. For your entire life, the loud, demanding world outside has been whispering a very dangerous lie into your ear. It told you that the ultimate goal of being a human is to become perfect. And if you are an overthinker, if you are someone who constantly obsesses over the thoughts and feelings of other people, I can almost guarantee that you are carrying the heavy, agonizing burden of perfectionism. When you spend your nights agonizing over a conversation, tearing apart every word you said, terrified that you sounded foolish or needy or too intense, you are fighting a losing battle for perfection. When you try to perfectly anticipate the needs of your partner or perfectly manage the emotional distance of someone you care about, you are operating under the devastating belief that if you can just be flawless enough, you will finally be safe from abandonment. You treat your own soul like a high-stakes performance, terrified that if you drop even a single line, the audience will leave the theater. But Carl Jung offered a radically different, entirely liberating path. He famously said, "I would rather be whole than good." He understood that perfection is an illusion. It is a sterile, exhausting trap created by the ego to avoid vulnerability. The soul does not want to be perfect. The soul wants to be whole. And wholeness means allowing all the beautifully messy, contradictory human parts of yourself to exist in the same room. Let me tell you about a woman named Clara. Clara was a master at the exhausting art of being the perfect partner. She was always accommodating, always cheerful, and always anticipated what the man she was dating wanted before he even knew he wanted it. But beneath that flawless exterior, Clara's mind was a torture chamber of anxiety. She obsessed over his every micro-expression. If he sighed while looking at his phone, Clara immediately spiraled, convinced she had done something to displease him. She spent hours crafting the perfect, breezy text messages so she wouldn't seem desperate. She was terrified of letting him see her anger, her sadness, or her messy insecurities, believing that her perfection was the only currency buying his presence. One day, completely burnt out from managing the impossible project of her own flawlessness, Clara collapsed into the seventh layer of her psyche. She realized she wasn't actually loving him. She was just meticulously managing his perception of her. When Clara finally dropped the heavy shield of perfection, she embraced her wholeness. The next time she felt insecure, instead of hiding it behind a perfectly crafted smile, she simply said, "I'm feeling a little anxious right now." The world did not end. The sky did not fall. In fact, by allowing herself to be a flawed, complex human being, she suddenly stopped needing to aggressively monitor him. when she no longer required perfection from herself. She stopped projecting that impossible standard onto the relationship. The exhausting mental loops faded away, replaced by the deep, grounded peace of simply being authentic. I want you to imagine right now a magnificent ancient canyon. Picture in the quiet twilight. This canyon was not carved by a careful artist trying to make everything symmetrical and smooth. It was carved by wild, raging rivers. It was shaped by violent windstorms, by harsh winters, and by millions of years of profound, chaotic change. The canyon walls are rugged and jagged. There are deep, dark caves and places where the rock has completely crumbled away. It is incredibly uneven. And yet, when people stand at the edge of this ancient canyon, they do not criticize its imperfections. They do not wish the walls were perfectly smooth or that the river had run in a straight, predictable line. They stand at the edge, and they are moved to tears by its breathtaking, majestic beauty. It is beautiful because of the storms it has weathered. It is magnificent because of its fractures, its depths, and its wild, untamed history. You are that magnificent canyon. Your scars, your moments of intense anxiety, your completely natural human needs, the times you have said the wrong thing, the times you have loved too much or held on too tightly. These are not mistakes that need to be paved over to make a smooth, boring parking lot. They are the deep, majestic rivers that have carved the breathtaking landscape of your soul. When you obsess over someone else, you are frantically trying to patch the cracks in your own canyon walls, hoping they won't notice you're a human. But tonight, you do not have to patch anything. Notice how the darkness of your bedroom holds you with absolute unconditional acceptance. The night does not demand that you sleep perfectly. The mattress does not require your body to be aligned in a flawless posture to offer its support. You are allowed to be exactly as you are. I invite you to take a slow, deep breath into the very center of your chest. Fill your lungs with the quiet grace of this moment. And as you exhale, I want you to silently offer yourself this profound, liberating permission. I release the exhausting burden of perfection. I give myself permission to be magnificently, beautifully whole. Feel the massive, invisible weight of trying to be good slide right off your shoulders and melt into the sheets. Feel the incredible relief of finally laying down your weapons. You don't have to perform anymore. You don't have to manage anyone's perception of you. The obsession with their approval is dissolving, fading away into the vast, open space of your own self-acceptance. Rest now. Sink into the majestic landscape of your own wholeness. And let the quiet, healing peace of the night carry you away into a flawless, unbroken sleep. As you rest here in the profound, unshakable bedrock of your own wholeness, I want you to notice the physical quality of the air in your room. It feels incredibly still, doesn't it? It is thick, warm, and protective. You have traveled beautifully through the 7 layers of your inner world. You have faced the shadow, embraced the silence, withdrawn your exhausting projections, and anchored yourself in your own innate worth. You have finally stopped running. Now as you lie here, sinking deeper and heavier into the mattress, we're going to perform a quiet, sacred ritual. For your entire life, the persona, that beautiful, exhausting mask you wear, has been quietly begging the external world for permission. You have asked for permission to take up space. You have asked for permission to rest by trying to prove how hard you have worked. You have asked for permission to be loved by trying to be perfect, flawless, and infinitely accommodating. When you obsess over someone else, when you let them live rent-free in your mind, what you are actually doing is waiting for them to hand you a permission slip to finally feel safe. But Carl Jung would remind you that no one outside of you has the authority to grant you that peace. The ultimate authority of your life resides exactly where you are right now, within the deep, quiet center of your own true self. Tonight we are going to bypass the noisy, demanding world. We are going to speak directly to your nervous system, directly to your unconscious mind, and we are going to hand you the keys to your own freedom. I want you to imagine my voice not as a voice coming from the outside, but as the deepest, wisest part of your own soul whispering to you in the dark. As I speak these words, I want you to let them wash over you like a warm, heavy blanket. Let them sink into your skin. Let them settle deep into your bones. Listen to the steady rhythm of your breathing, in and out. And as you breathe, receive this. You have permission to be incredibly, wonderfully tired. You do not have to justify your exhaustion. You do not need to list everything you accomplished today to prove that you have earned the right to rest. Your exhaustion is simply a natural human truth. Let your body be heavy. Let it be done for the day. You have permission to stop figuring them out. You have permission to let their actions remain a mystery. You do not have to decode their silence. You do not have to translate their mixed signals. You have permission to politely resign from the exhausting job of being their emotional detective. You have permission to let people be completely wrong about you. If someone misunderstands your boundaries or misinterprets your quietness, you do not have to frantically rush in to correct their perception. You have permission to let them hold whatever opinion they choose, while you remain perfectly safe and untouched in the center of your own truth. You have permission to say no. You have permission to say no without offering a perfectly crafted, bulletproof excuse. You have permission to disappoint people if it means you are finally being loyal to yourself. You have permission to be entirely imperfect. You have permission to be a masterpiece that is still figuring things out. You have permission to have days where you feel incredibly fragile, and you have permission to stop hiding those days behind a flawless, cheerful mask. You have permission to take your energy back. All that magnificent, glowing life force you have been pouring into someone else's cup. You have permission to gently, firmly pour it back into your own. You have permission to exist just for tonight, entirely and exclusively for yourself. Notice how your body responds to these permissions. Feel the way your shoulders drop another fraction of an inch. Feel the way your stomach unknots. This is the profound physical relief of laying down the burden of the persona. This is the feeling of coming home. You do not have to fight the current anymore. You do not have to earn your place in the universe. You are already here. You already belong. Right now, as you drift in this beautifully safe space, I invite you to make this ritual your own. If it feels comfortable, gently place one hand over the center of your chest, right over your heart. Feel the steady, reliable beating there. Press softly, just enough to feel the comforting weight of your own hand. And in the absolute privacy of your own mind, I want you to echo the permission you need the most tonight. Silently tell yourself, I give myself permission to let go. I give myself permission to simply be. Keep your hand there for as long as you like. Feel the warmth radiating into your chest. There is no one to please. There is nothing left to solve. The ritual is complete. Let the soothing, hypnotic rhythm of your breath carry you deeper and deeper into the most restorative, peaceful sleep you have felt in a very long time. As your hand rests softly on your chest, and the profound permissions of the ritual settle deeply into your bones, I want you to bring your gentle awareness to the space right behind your forehead. This is the center of your conscious mind. All day long, this space has been incredibly active. It has been buzzing with electricity, calculating, planning, worrying, and frantically trying to predict the future. It has been running the exhausting, endless software of the persona, but right now, in the exquisite safety of this dark room, you can feel that space beginning to cool down. The frantic buzzing is fading into a low, comforting hum. The brilliant, overworked machinery of your conscious mind is finally powering down for the night. As your conscious mind goes to sleep, a beautiful, miraculous process is about to begin. You are not just resting tonight. You are not just pausing the anxiety. Tonight, you are actively healing. As you drift deeper into the heavy, velvet darkness of sleep, your vast and infinitely wise unconscious mind is taking over the night shift, and its only job tonight is to completely rewire you for peace. I want you to imagine your mind as a magnificent ancient garden at midnight. For a very long time, you've been walking down the exact same pathways in this garden. Every time that person didn't text you back, every time you felt a pang of insecurity, or every time you felt the desperate urge to fix someone else's mood, you walked down the pathway of anxiety. Because you walked it so many times, that path became a deep, hard-packed groove in the soil of your mind. Your thoughts naturally flowed there, simply because it was the easiest, most familiar route. That is how the brain works. It builds pathways out of our habits, even the habits that cause us terrible pain. But tonight, the landscape is changing. Imagine your unconscious mind as a team of gentle, quiet, incredibly skilled gardeners working under the light of the silver moon as you sleep. As your physical body remains completely still and heavy on the mattress, these gardeners are going to work. They are walking over to that deep, exhausting groove of overthinking. With soft, rhythmic movements, they are gently raking fresh, dark, fertile soil over the old pathway. They are filling in the grooves of your anxiety. They are smoothing out the hard-packed dirt of your obsession with other people's opinions. They are carefully sweeping away the dead, dry leaves of the past. Listen to the slow, hypnotic rhythm of your breath. With every single exhalation, imagine another layer of that old, painful neural pathway being softly erased. Breathe in and erase. Breathe in and smooth it over. Your brain is literally reshaping itself in the dark. The outdated structures that kept you trapped in fear, the belief that you have to be perfect, the desperate need to control the outcome, the exhausting habit of abandoning yourself to please someone else. These structures are dissolving. They're crumbling away like old, dry clay returning to the earth. You do not need them anymore. They were survival tools for a time that has passed, and your unconscious mind knows it is finally safe to let them go. And as the old pathways are gently filled in and smoothed away, something incredibly beautiful is taking their place. The quiet gardeners of your mind are laying down new stepping stones. They are planting the seeds of profound self-worth, deep self-trust, and unshakable inner peace. They are building a new, softly glowing pathway that leads directly back to your own heart. The next time you are faced with uncertainty, the next time someone is quiet or distant, your mind will not automatically plunge into the dark groove of panic. You will find this new, beautiful pathway. You will find the gentle, sturdy road of trusting yourself. You do not have to consciously do any of this work. You do not have to force your brain to change. Neuroplasticity, the brilliant ability of your mind to heal and rewire itself, happens most perfectly when you are completely surrendered to sleep. Your only job is to trust the process. Your only job is to let go. I invite you to silently hand over the keys tonight. In the quiet sanctuary of your mind, offer this gentle, trusting permission to your own unconscious. I release the old patterns. I give my mind permission to rewire for peace. I am ready to receive the new. Feel the incredible sweeping relief of giving up control. The night shift has taken over. The quiet, healing work is happening flawlessly beneath the surface. Your mind is being washed clean, bathed in the soothing, restorative waters of deep sleep. Allow your thoughts to become completely formless, drifting apart like soft white clouds scattering in the night sky. The old structures are gone. The new pathways are glowing softly in the dark. You are entirely safe to sink down, heavy and completely relaxed, into the deepest, most healing sleep of your life. As the profound, invisible work of rewiring takes place deep within the fertile soil of your unconscious mind, I want you to simply rest. You do not need to monitor the process. You do not need to check if it is working. Just let the incredible, natural wisdom of your body and your psyche do exactly what they were designed to do. Notice how incredibly still the room has become. It is as if the entire world has respectfully paused to honor the quiet healing happening within you right now. Your breathing is a slow, steady, magnificent pendulum, swinging back and forth, rocking you into the deepest state of peace you have known in a very long time. The heavy armor of the persona has been left far behind, completely forgotten. The shadow has been warmly welcomed and integrated. The exhausting, frantic energy used to cast outward, projecting your own beautiful light onto other people, has been gently and firmly called back home. You are no longer a fragmented soul, scattered in the minds and opinions of everyone around you. You are here, you are anchored. You are wonderfully, entirely whole. I want to welcome you, quietly and warmly, to this new way of being. My fellow Jungians, this is what it means to finally step onto the path of individuation. It is not a path of becoming perfect. It is not a path of learning how to perfectly manage the universe, so that no one ever leaves you, or misunderstands you. It is the brave, beautiful path of becoming exactly who you are without apology and without fear. When you wake up tomorrow morning, the world will still be there. The people you care about will still have their own complex moods, their own confusing behaviors, and their own unhealed wounds. The demands of your daily life will still be waiting, but you are not going to interact with them in the same exhausting way anymore. Tomorrow, when someone is quiet, you will not automatically assume it is a crisis about your worth. You will remember the heavy, smooth stone at the bottom of the river, and you will let their mood simply be the water flowing over you. Tomorrow, when you feel the old, familiar urge to overfunction, to bend over backwards to fix a problem that isn't yours, you will remember the quiet garden. You will put a comforting hand on your own inner child, and you will politely decline the job of managing someone else's emotional weather. You have built a fortress of peace inside yourself tonight, and no one can take that away from you. Because the peace you feel right now doesn't depend on anyone else's behavior. It doesn't depend on a text message. It doesn't depend on their validation. It is entirely yours. As we slowly bring this part of our journey to a gentle close, I want to invite you to anchor this profound shift in your reality. In Jungian psychology, we know that when we take an invisible internal shift and give it a small, tangible footprint in the physical world, we signal to our unconscious mind that we are truly committed to the change. If you're still drifting on the edge of sleep, hearing the sound of my voice, or if you are listening to this tomorrow morning as you slowly wake up to a new day, I invite you to leave a quiet mark of your journey. In the comments below, simply leave a single psychological keyword that represents your commitment to yourself tonight. You might type the word present to remind yourself to stay in your own body instead of living in someone else's mind. You might type the word whole to signify that you are no longer chasing perfection. Or perhaps you simply type released, acknowledging that you have finally put down the heavy rope. By leaving that single word, you are silently telling a community of thousands of other fellow Jungians who are listening in the dark, I was here. I did the quiet work. I am taking my energy back. This is a beautiful, shared testament to our collective healing. You do not need to explain your word. You do not need to tell your story. Just leave the anchor and let it hold you steady. But for now, there is no action required. If your eyes are heavy and sleep has already wrapped its warm arms around you, simply let the intention of that word settle into your heart. Let it be a silent promise you keep with yourself. Feel the absolute safety of your bed. Feel the cool touch of the pillow against your cheek. You have done incredibly well tonight. You have been so brave to look inward and so gentle in your own healing. Allow the last remaining whispers of the outside world to fade into a soft, meaningless hum. Let the quiet darkness hold you, protect you, and cherish you. Just breathe and drift and know that you are deeply, profoundly enough. As the anchor of your word settles into the earth, marking your profound commitment to your own peace, we have reached the very end of our journey tonight. The deep, transformative work is entirely finished. There is nothing left for you to process. There is nothing left for you to understand. And most importantly, there is absolutely no one left for you to figure out. I want you to let go of the need to even listen to the meaning of my words right now. You do not need to pay close attention anymore. Let the sound of my voice become just a gentle, rhythmic hum in the background, like the soft, continuous rushing of an ocean wave, or the quiet rustle of leaves outside your window. Let it be a sound that simply reminds you that you are not alone and that you are perfectly safe. Bring your gentle awareness to the physical darkness in your room. For so much of our lives, we are told to be afraid of the dark. We associate it with the unknown, with emptiness, or with the things we cannot control. But tonight, I want you to feel the profound, magnificent presence of this darkness. It is not empty. It is incredibly full. Imagine this velvety midnight darkness as a thick, warm, deeply protective blanket. It is weaving itself around you right now, strand by strand, creating a beautiful, soft cocoon. Feel the darkness gently wrapping around your feet, soothing the tired arches and the souls that have carried you through the day. The warmth of the cocoon moves slowly up your legs, releasing the heavy muscles of your calves, your knees, and your thighs. Every fiber of your being is sinking into the mattress, yielding completely to gravity. You are so wonderfully heavy. Feel the cocoon wrapping securely around your hips and your stomach. All the nervous energy, all the tight knots of anxiety that you used to carry in your core. They are dissolving into the warmth of this dark embrace. Your chest is rising and falling with a slow, effortless rhythm. You're breathing in peace, and you're breathing out the very last microscopic traces of the day. The protective darkness wraps around your shoulders, sliding down your arms, all the way to your fingertips. Your hands, which have spent so much time desperately trying to hold on to things, trying to fix things, trying to manage the people around you, are completely open and relaxed. You are not holding on to anything anymore. And finally, feel this warm, comforting cocoon wrap around your neck, your jaw, and the back of your head. Your mind, which was once a noisy, exhausting battlefield of overthinking, is now a vast, quiet, starless sky. If a stray thought about that other person tries to enter the space, if a tiny ghost of a memory or a whisper of an anxiety tries to knock on the door, you do not even have to fight it. Just watch it hit the thick, warm walls of your cocoon and instantly dissolve into dust. They cannot reach you here. Their moods cannot touch you. Their silence cannot hurt you. You have entirely reclaimed your own sacred space. You have called all of your magnificent, glowing life force back to the center of your own chest. You are resting in the seventh layer, the deepest bedrock of your soul. You are experiencing the profound, quiet miracle of your own wholeness. You are not the mask you wear for the world. You are not the exhausting effort you put into managing your relationships. You are not your anxiety, and you are certainly not the reflection you tried to catch in the freezing lake. You are the sky. You are the deep, ancient river. You are the magnificent, unshakable stone. As you hover right here on the delicate, beautiful threshold between wakefulness and sleep, I want to offer you one final, deeply loving permission. Just whisper this silently to your own heart one last time. I am safe. I am whole. I am letting go. Let the mattress take the absolute total of your weight. Let the room stand guard. Let your unconscious mind continue its brilliant, quiet work of healing and restoring every single cell in your body. There is nowhere else you need to be. There is no one else you need to think about tonight. You can just be here, with yourself. And as Carl Jung would tell you, that is not lonely. That is not empty. That is finally, truly coming home. Sleep well, my friend. Sleep deeply. Surrender to the warm, beautiful dark. Sleep knowing that you are completely, magnificently whole. Good night.